What up, gamers? Fence here, and welcome back to Frontline to Exilium. So yeah, let's go ahead and try our best to finish off this whole story here. So let's go and continue. Yeah, man. We'll see if the inspector. I'm not sure. Oh, level 2. It looks like we're going to level 2 here. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna guess. I don't know. There's something definitely up with the inspector. I feel like something's gonna happen, whether it be good or bad. Something definitely is gonna go down with him. All right, here we go. The inspector looks down at Delia's notes as he flips through them. In addition to the accounting data, Delia has tried to provide as much additional information as she could. What do you think of the information provided by the witness? Even if the witness's testimony can be corroborated, the charges are being levied against a core figure of the farm. I believe having more proof would be helpful to the case. There are cameras throughout the farm. There's no way for the opposition to hide if they make a move, so verifying it won't be difficult. The question now is how far you're willing to go to gather this proof. The inspector remains silent in his seat, as if he's morphed into a statue. He seems ill at ease while sitting in the chair, as if the temporary meeting room suddenly seems very cramped. Let's verify the evidence. The area surrounding the location where the witness was attacked was covered by a camera. Its footage should be in the appropriate security kiosk. I'll have my people give you today's cipher key. Commander, I hope you will verify the truth of this attack, and I will also need to know the identity of the person who attacked her. Take whatever screenshots you need and send them to my adjutant. He will corroborate it against the database of residents. This commission is still secret, so I hope you will maintain a low profile. A secret, hmm? Are you worried about something, Inspector? The inspector looks up. There's a sharp glint in his eye. It's just in case. Neither the management nor the guards can be fully trusted. My adjutant is beyond suspicion. He is reliable, I am sure of that. Understood. All the best to the both of us. That's actually pretty interesting, so he can't even trust like the guards or like the people around us except for his adjutant. I lead the dolls to the security kiosk in question. Dang it, someone's messed with this camera too. Wait, two? What did I say two? That's because the tampering here is almost exactly like what was done during the mini robot theft incident. Don't tell me the same person was behind both cases. Hard to say, we don't have enough evidence. Let's start by restoring the original footage. Oh, that's why we are just level 2. We just need to connect to level 2, like last time, right? Shouldn't be a problem. Alright. So yeah, that's why there's level 2 here, is just to get the camera footage. Alright, combat starts. But yeah, we'll try our best to finish things up here, and then for the next update, I saw that we have Nikita coming up, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man, because I saw her robot dog. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll be getting her. I think it's fine because I think they also they announced that after her will be Jongyu, which I don't plan on getting, so I think it's fine for me to get another new unit. I think it's fine. Which is kind of funny to think about because like I spent so much during the banner, yeah, for Springfield over here, and now I feel confident in like, you know, the banner after hers. You know, after this one, like just 2 banners later, I'm like confident that I can maybe do another like pulls. That's because this game, man, does a very good job of like giving you like the premium currency, like the collapse pieces and stuff like that. Yeah. The data restoration is complete. In the restored footage, we can see Delia falling over after being shot. The killer approaches and drags her to the nearby storm drain. Looks like we're in luck. We've got several shots of the killer's face. I'll send those images to the adjutant. While you're at it, ask the inspector about how to proceed next. Should we head back to the admin center and meet up with him? We find a secluded corner and take a quick rest. Shortly afterwards, The communication alert beeps. It's from the inspector. Put it through. Groza quickly explains what we've discovered. Yes, my adjutant just told me that there was a match in the resident database. The man is a high-ranking member of the expedition team. Alright. You got the expedition team, you say. Let's go catch the leader now. What was his name again? I think he's called Garen. If it really was an inside job, then a lot of doubts from before can be answered. The speed of thefts from the residential areas and a trade fair would force the guards to put focus on them, which probably means the warehouse wouldn't be as closely guarded as before, right? The people who would know this best would obviously be core members of the management. Yeah, that's right. And then there's that story about the neon causing trouble, the one that came from a member of the expedition team, too, right? Someone's uncle's nephew's father's roommate or something. All this makes the expedition team more suspicious, but it doesn't directly implicate Garen. Hey, are you still holding on to the past friendship or something? Everyone's collapsed pieces are missing here. Aren't they all going to starve if you drag to your feet? Choha, I'm sure the inspector knows this. He just needs some time. I stopped Choha from pressing further. He has done a lot for the settlement, and the people trust him as much as they do me. I need to proceed carefully when it comes to him. But the festive trade fair's opening ceremony is coming, and you've already delayed it once. Yes, the traders with our suppliers arrived at the farm last week. If we leave them be and fail to close the trade with them, they'll cancel it and leave. These brokers are not in the habit of hanging around and wasting time. Well, I have to say that you guys have your principles. A lot of settlements would choose to just rob the brokers outright. I've seen plenty of that in the Yellow Zone. Trade requires stability and trust. Those settlements you were talking about probably don't last long. Also, we have too many non-combatants here, and we can't afford to have a firefight at the checkpoint. There's also a major factor in all of this. The inspector rubs his temples. Can't you, give out a little less? I would rather avoid such a course of action unless I have absolutely no choice. The management does not rely entirely on the guards to maintain order. The residents obey our regulations because they have faith in us, and a major part of that is not stealing from each other. The residents' obedience is directly predicated on the management's willingness to keep their word. It's a virtuous cycle. Once trust in the management is gone, nobody will buy into the social contract anymore. That way lies chaos. We saw the expedition team before, and there's one thing I'm curious about. Are most of the settlement's weapons concentrated in the expedition team? They are the only group that needs to leave the settlement to work, and they shoulder the greatest risk. Naturally, we give them our best gear, including over 70% of our personal protective gear, weapons, ammunition, to be distributed as they see fit. If our situation truly calls for it, we may need to disperse the residents. I understand your concerns. The truth is, I have an idea, but it's a risky one. Come over to the admin center. We can talk there. The transmission ends. Okay. Well, that was a fast one. Okay. Just keep on going, man. Confirm it's going to be a story node next. I feel like I keep on seeing this a lot with the with the apparatus. Like, or just art of the, our guys dressing up as them. I feel like I've been seeing that so much. Alright. Here we go, story node time. Alright, what's up? 2 days later. Early in the morning, a broker convoy loaded with supplies leaves the settlement. Perhaps it's out of pity, or perhaps it's to repay the inspector's honest dealings with them, but they make their exit without fanfare. Oh, here's Garen, apparently. Leo, how can you sit on your butt at a time like this? The door to the inspector's office flies open. They really left. What should we do about our supplies now? That's Garen. Well, no wonder they didn't really show him a lot. Even though, I feel like he would be an important character to the story. It's because, he kind of looks like a generic soldier. He's not like, what was his name? Like, Dimitri? Okay. Uh, it's not moving forward to dialogue right now. I guess I gotta. There we go. This man from the expedition team projects an air of strength and danger, like a veteran. Oh no, they said this word back in that live stream. Like, I forgot how you pronounce it. The Vorjager, or because I've been saying Varjager, but they said it different. Like Mo said it different in that one next update stream, or not stream, but like the broadcasting. Uh, Captain or the leader of a band of bounty hunters. The supply problem has been taken care of, Mr. Guerin. I nod to Guerin. It is only then that he realizes my presence. And who's this? A guest of yours? The expedition team looks at the inspector. This is the commander of the Elmo, our new partner. He partnered with the broker Aminda, whom I introduced to the inspector. She can accept a short-term deferral in payment with my guarantee. You sounded desperate, so she's on her way now. Once again, I thank you for your help in this hour of need. All the residents will remember your kindness. This development seems to have taken Garen by surprise, because he pauses before speaking. Oh, it's been settled then, huh? Alright then. Miss Amindo doesn't know the region well. Oh. uh, wait. The region well? I think it meant to say well. Like, she doesn't know the place well, and not will. Because it doesn't make sense. So we are planning to send a team out to receive her. It's no problem. Garen thinks for a moment, and then he adds something else. Your guards don't leave the settlements often, so you probably don't know the way. Let me handle the meeting. I'll bring my boys along. I can rest assured with you, handling things. The festive trade fair is almost here. We cannot have any slip-ups. Looks like we'll be meeting Aminda together, Leader Garen. I'll get my guys ready. In the blink of an eye, it's time to head out. The commander, was it? Let's go. You lead the way. Hang on, the inspector isn't here yet. What the heck do you need him for? You're an outsider, so you probably don't know, but all he does is send the expedition team off every now and then. He's too busy to come each time. Let's go. Don't bother waiting for him. Sabrina looks surprised. Huh? Didn't you know, Leader Garen? The inspector's coming with us to meet Aminda. Say what? I hear the sound of footsteps behind us. It's the inspector. Sorry to keep you waiting. We can go now. Leo, what the heck? You finish all your business? The fair's about to begin, you know. Aren't you supposed to stay home and make sure everything's running fine? The heck are you doing out here? The shipment is of vital importance. If anything goes wrong with it, nothing else will matter. So if anything comes up, having me around will make things go more smoothly. Huh. It's been years since you've been outside of town. Don't you think you're getting a little too old for this? Just settle down. We don't need sudden stunts from you at a critical moment like this. If you want to go out on a ride, I'll bring you with me on our next expedition. You can save it. I've already made up my mind. You know, I think Leo is actually kind of good here. I'm starting to go more into that way. I think if he says, I'll go with the commander, I think I can trust him if he says that. But we'll see. Seriously. It's time to head out. Since you clearly value that shipment very highly, it's best you make a decision soon. Let's go. Garen clearly hasn't given up on dissuading Leo, but the inspector ignores him and looks at me. Mount up, everyone. Follow us. Oh, that was it? That was fast, too. So wait, like, are we using the Elmo to travel there, or no? Oh, we got some Elids here. But yeah, if he's, like, you know, with us, I don't know if they're, like, in separate vehicles or something, but if we're in the same vehicle with, yeah, with Leo, I feel like I can trust him. Since, you know, that might be, like, you know, in a way he can't trust Garen. The jeep races over to the wilderness, stabbing into a horde of Elids like a lance. F, what kind of crappy route is this? Garen's voice is even louder with the wind blowing right in his face. The familiar outdoors seem to have caused him to shed some of his restraint. Time is tight, and the terrain here is comparatively flat. so going straight would be quicker. As for the occasional obstacle, an lead blocking our path collapses as a gunshot rings out. The inspector's action supplies the answer. Whoa, nice shot, Inspector. Meh, I haven't been in a firefight for too long, so I've gotten rusty, compared to back then. The inspector laughs in a self-deprecating way, and his mouth curves up in a smile. Back then? I heard the vendors at the fair say Inspector Leo and Leader Garen used to be pals in a bounty hunter crew back in the day. Yep, we were. Sure were. This guy used to be a real William Tell. He knocked them down as fast as they popped up. That shot just now was too slow. Nothing like how he was at his peak. Most bounty hunters tend to stay on the move. Once they finish sweeping an area, they move on to the next, and their routes are largely decided by their commissions. So why did you guys decide to quit the business and settle down? This seems to be an ancient history for them, given things for a long time before finally giving an answer. We messed up one too many times. Lots of our guys got hurt or kicked the bucket. In the end, our crew broke up. You know how life is in the Yellow Zone. This sort of thing happens all the time. All you need is to fill your belly. Take me for example. As long as you've got the skills to pay the bills, you can eat well no matter where you go. Rosa drives the jeep over a sandy curve, and all the conversation stops for a bit. We end up swinging back and forth for some time before we can finally settle down. Our crew was never really that united to begin with, and we had discussions before doing anything. Anyone who agreed would join us on a commission, and anyone who didn't wouldn't take part. While we lived and ate together, we didn't have much in the way of a common consensus or close ties. Yeah, so I just realized, so we're in the same vehicle. But I'm guessing, like, there's like other, people with us too, like in other vehicles. Garen, remember that blonde-haired, small dude from back in the day? I say that just in case, I don't know if that's like offensive or something. Um, I think so. What happened to him? Don't remember anything about him. Don't think he rebuilt the farm with us. Well, he loved picking up first aid kits and would always go straight for them. Whenever our guys got hurt, they'd have to buy medical supplies off of him, and if you couldn't pay, he'd just watch as you died in front of him. Oh yeah, I remember now. You were always a busybody. I can't remember how many times you lent money to the people begging for him for meds. In the end, everyone you lent money to died, and you didn't get a single credit back. Yeah, lending money in the Yellow Zone is risky. You need to invest wisely. That said, you're a good man for doing what you did, Inspector. Hats off to you. Well, that blonde small dude died later on, and nobody ever found that medical chest he always carried with him. Well, no crap. Heck, it might not even have been the enemy that got him. One of our guys might have been eyeing his meds. Back then, we were always coming back with fewer people that we started out with. Some died and some left. Who's to say one of them didn't take the chest and scrammed? Back then, people only cared about what they needed at the moment. It wasn't uncommon for infighting to happen because they found something valuable. Crews like that would either crumble or fall apart by themselves. Garen frowns. It seems like he is realizing something because his tone changes. That said, it's the Yellow Zone, Leo. It's like that everywhere. We're all going to die sooner or later, so I'll just have to fight to survive for as long as I can. How did that saying go? Seize the day? I thought that rather than drifting aimlessly, it was better to find a place to settle down. It wasn't necessarily be worse than being a bounty hunter. That's why we came to Darksteel Farm after the crew disbanded. A strange silence fills the jeep. Just then, we spot a plume of smoke in the distance. Commander, a pack of elids is approaching us. They're just in time. I've been meaning to give these old bones of mine a little workout. That's really cool. I'm starting to like warm up to these guys. At the same time, though, I actually do wonder if Garen... I'm guessing it's not Garen that's evil. It's probably... They just said like a higher up, right? In, the expedition team. So probably someone else. But yeah, I'm starting to warm up to them. But I am kind of open for Garen to be evil. I am also leaning towards more of Leo being a good guy. But like, I'm just wondering if they'll pull a twist, you know? I can definitely see that happening, like, and you thought I was good this whole time? No, I am evil. Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if they'll do like a switcheroo on us or not. Nice. Cowed by the doll's fire, the Elites instinctively flock toward a direction where the gunfire is more sparse. They are given that the rest of his expedition team members are having a hard fight. Come have a go if you're hard enough. I'll... Given's shout becomes a cry of pain, as heavy armor provides him with a solid defense, but it also makes him too slow to avoid the attacks coming from all the directions. Chohwa's voice comes in over our encrypted channel. Commander, we've largely cleared this side out. Should we go over to assist? No need to rush. Approach the combat area and wait for my signal. I watch Inspector Leo head toward Garen. After ensuring that the tactical situation is under control, I take out my binoculars. Behind Garen, an Elite is about to bash his brains out. Garen, get down! Inspector Leo raises his gun, and Garen instinctively ducks. The bang which follows is lost in the clamor of battle, but the Elite behind Garen crumples to the ground. However, this is just a single, insignificant moment on the battlefield, and more Elites pounce on them. Chohwa, Sabrina, go back them up. Sure thing, I've been waiting for this. Even after putting down my binoculars, I can still see Chohwa dragging Sabrina over to help them. From the driver's seat, Rosa smiles. As lively as ever, Chohwa, I mean. Yes, she's very good at managing the mood. The battle soon ends and the others return to the jeep. Garen and the inspector collapse into their seats to regain their strength. Everyone alright? Some of our boys on the jeep over there are hurt. Nothing major though, it's no big deal. It was a little close back there, but we're vets of the Yellow Zone, so it's not like we haven't seen this crap before. Back when we first came to the farm, it was still a heap of rubble and there were Elas running around inside its perimeter. Garen was always the head of the pack, wherever there was an attack. Still remember those days, Garen? How could I possibly forget? We couldn't find anywhere to take cover, so we had to pitch our tents inside one of those condemned buildings. I think it was around the same time as now, yeah? You had to sleep with one eye open, and one night I woke up to an Elite about to bite my effing nose off. Oh yes, it was cold that night. I thought we were done for. We used up all our ammo, and nearly froze to death. Chohwa tenses up as she hears this. What happened then? How did you survive? Well, we somehow managed to fight them off. While we were picking up the pieces, we suddenly heard a broadcast on the radio. It was a festive song, and Garen began whistling along with it. Soon, everyone joined in, and even though their singing was terrible, I still remember the warmth of the sun that day. It was a good start to the day. I remember passing a green zone convoy asked if they were setting off fireworks last night. Yeah, we were shooting off effing RPGs all night long. How's that for fireworks? They go back and forth, reminiscing about the past. The mood in the air is the most relaxed that it's been so far. You shot that Elid off my face back then, didn't you? Just like now. Man, I'd have been dead if it wasn't for you. That Elid had a whistle on it. I cleaned it and gave it to you as a memento. Still remember it? Of course. I've been holding on to it all this time. At this point, Garen falls silent and says no more. The inspector looks calmly at Garen. So, working together was worthwhile, right? After that, we built the farm into what it is today. I believed that focusing on rules and helping each other meant that the farm wouldn't fall apart after a few years, like most bounty hunter crews. You know how it is. Humans are tiny specks. It's only by banding together that we have a chance to storm against a storm of life. Chohwa nods vigorously, almost about to chime in with approval. I tug on her and interrupt her from doing so. Well, it's almost time for the festive trade fair. Our collapsed pieces were stolen and we can't buy the supplies we need. The farm's facing an invisible storm of its own. We built this farm together and want to keep it standing until the very end. Garen, will you help me like you did back then? Garen looks down and then he laughs. You're as stubborn as ever. The inspector turns away with a look of disappointment on his face, looking at the road ahead. Just then, a text message alert breaks the silence. Gentlemen, Aminda is here, and we're almost at the designated meeting point. Yeah, you know what? Ever since Leo came into the story, I feel like I've been liking the story more. I actually don't care much about Chohua, actually. I feel like Leo's more interesting. Even Garen, too. I mean, it's good for those who, like, played the first game to see them back. But I feel like story-wise, it feels more interesting with Leo and Garen. Yeah, I really like these two. Even the scavengers too, they've been cool to see. And also Delia too. Yeah, pretty much the non-doll characters are very interesting to me. There are two people in the vehicle shelter. They're leaning against a truck in the shelter, waiting for us. We dismount to show our respect and trust. That said, despite being several hundred meters away, one of them is already jumping and hopping around. Commander, over here. Ripley's here. Ripley happily runs up to us. Don't worry, Commander. Ripley knows the day's mission. Ripley will put on a good show. Mr. Pizza, is something wrong? Colfin quickly fiddles with Ripley's M. Pizzasaurus backpack, taking advantage of Ripley's distraction to flash the others a placating smile. Sorry, she's new. I'm Aminda. Oh. And it's nice to meet the new clients. Wow. Okay, what's the plan here? Why is she pretending to be Aminda? Chohua strives mightily to control her laughter and looks away, not daring to look further. Sabrina smiles too, only Groza remains calm. Of course, Groza is always on, always on task. The commander has given me a rough summary of the situation. I brought what you want. The payments will be in installments. The details are all in the contract. Since the time is tight, shall we set off now and bring the goods back to the settlements right away? Hang on, I want to check on the merch. Open the cargo bay. Let us have a look at it. As he says this, Garen brings his armed expeditioners over to the truck. Certainly. Colfin calmly opens the cargo bay. The expedition team members move crate after crate of cargo out and lay them in neat rows on the ground before inspecting them. As they move toward the crates deeper within, Colfin moves to stop them. We're in deep in the middle of the yellow zone, right? Surely bringing them all out would be a little dangerous. If you ran into the Dveyogers, how do you pronounce it? Well, my humble enterprise wouldn't be able to take the losses if you could have moved them all back in time. Garen, we're getting the goods first and paying them later. We can inventory the cargo when we get back. No need to worry about them pulling tricks. Yep, that's right. Anything could happen out here, so it's best to get it back to safety first. Garen, just check a few of them. We should prepare to head back soon. The expeditioners do not stop opening crates and ignore the inspector's words. My pulse quickens. These resource crates are placeholders borrowed from the Elmo. Not all of them are filled with supplies, and there's no telling what they'll open. They'll open one with that's filled with sand. Fine. Stop and load it all back up. Let's go. We'll lead the way. The inspector turns away. Whoa. A weapon chambers with an audible click from behind him? More plumes of dust rise up in the distance as more jeeps drive over, easily cutting us off from the truck. These vehicles had the emblems of the expedition team on them, but they weren't in a convoy just now. Leader Garen, what's the meaning of this? Is this what you chose in the end, Garen? Armored men jump down from the jeeps and approach us. Their guns are aimed at the inspector and me. The dolls immediately form a screen in front of us. Broker, this is farm business. Stay out of it. You'll get the money you were promised, and an extra 10% as a gratuity. Sure, we'll be good. Colfin smiles and backs up with her hand behind her back, but I sense she is waiting for my command. I give her an almost imperceptible nod by the way of response. And you, commander of the... what was it? The emo. If you put out now, we'll pay you off too. Unfortunately, in our line of work, we have these things called principles, you see. Plus, I have my reputation to think about, so unfortunately, I can't do that. I mock bow in apology, but I stand my ground. Garen snorts, but there are far more expedition members now than before. Clearly, this has given him a huge boost in confidence. Not leaving, then you're just asking to die. Before that, can I ask why you're doing this? On account of the fact that we used to be friends. Crap, you don't know? I guess I can give you a freebie before you die. I took the collapsed pieces. I wanted to screw your little festive fair over. I wanted those losers you took pity on to kick you out, along with all those useless bums you hired. You just run the farm into the ground with those losers dragging you down. We in the expedition team do the most and risk the most. I should have been the inspector in the first place. Garen gets more and more worked up as he speaks, as though he's pouring out years of frustration at once. Do you know how many of my boys died out there? Do you even recognize their faces? Have you ever seen them bleed, get their limbs torn off, or the crystals growing on through their bodies? They died for the supplies we brought back. Why should we share it with those useless bums back at the farm? Those vendors and scavengers are all equally useless. This is the yellow zone. If we can find it, you think we can't sell it? And your guards are just as useless. If it wasn't for the expedition team covering for them, what the F would they even be able to protect? But in the end, the supplies got around to everyone anyway. Garen waves his gun around wildly as he vents, but he never once points it at the inspector. It seems at the moment, getting all of this off his chest was more satisfying for him than just finishing us off. So that's what you were upset about. But have you ever considered what would happen to the farm if things hadn't developed as you expected? What good would the title of inspector be if the farm had fallen to internal upheavals? Would your expedition team be able to escape all that untouched? So what if I didn't think about it? I still believe that anyone who's strong enough can survive anywhere he ends up. You want to know just how the farm is spending and how much we're taking in. We've pretty much swept all the nearby caches, and our expeditions are going further and further, about twice as long as before. Even if we can sustain our numbers at a moment, what about in 3 years' time or 5? Don't forget all those useless mouths you're taking in are popping out brats too. You can't think of it that way. There are others working on the farm too. They're establishing a logistics chain for you, and the kids will grow up to be productive members of the community. Please reconsider, Garen. Put your guns down. The farm still needs the expedition team. We can still make it work. Are you effing blind? How many people do you have? How many people do I have? I'll make you a counteroffer. Take your hired guns and get lost. Never come back to the farm, and I'll spare your life. So there's no room for discussion then. You can run or die. Pick one. Oh, but don't worry. I'll tell them you died along the way. Everyone will remember you. Once I become the inspector, Darksteel Farm will become the most powerful settlement in the Yellow Zone under me. I'll keep the vendors who can make good pitches. As for the rest, they can screw off. It seems there's nothing else to say. I give you one chance to leave. You were the one who rejected it. Get them, boys. Garen signals to the expedition team to attack. Some of them hesitate since the target is the inspector, but after seeing their colleagues moving, they raise their guns too. Alright then. At some point, the inspector has pulled out an old whistle. He blows on it. The shrill sounds echoes through the sky. He was prepared, man. Oh boy. It is answered by the sound of jeeps roaring through the distance from afar. These are reinforcements from the guard squads. Whoa, is that a whistle-shaped transmitter? I've been meaning to modify my own transmitter with retro styling like that. I bet it would look great on the commander. Turns out someone else already did it. A whistle, you say? Didn't it come up in that story just now? Oh, it's nothing. It's not important. Let's get ready for battle too. Rosa, Sabrina, and Choha aside, I signal to Golfin and Vepley too. Time for Vepley's exciting debut. I'm ready, Commander. Golfin draws her gun, ready for battle. Now, the expedition team's advantage is no more. Garen's eyes go wide, and he looks incredulously at the inspector. You knew? That's impossible. When did you find out? Or did... So you never trusted me in the first place, did you? The inspector's eyes are filled with a complex mix of emotions. 10 minutes ago, I was still thinking that if you're willing to give up on this, I could continue pretending that nothing had happened. I'm sorry, Garen. Wow. Are we gonna fight Garen here? Are we gonna fight his people? Oh, it's just robots. Golfin. Pew. Commander, we're ready for battle. Your orders, please. Roger that. Everyone, mission starts. Yeah, so these are just robots, right? That is a bit disappointing. I kind of wish we would like actually fight them. Yeah. Kind of wish we would actually fight them. Just like a bunch of robots here. Yeah, will there actually be a boss? I mean, there's always like a boss that they show off, right? There's gotta be. I guess we'll find out who's gonna be. There we go, good job. Nice. There we go. In our turn, yeah, they just spawn in from the back. There we go, good job. And let's continue with the story here. Several guards have Garen tied up. The inspector walks up to him. Tell me where the collapsed pieces are, Garen. You sounded confident enough to give that broker a 10% bonus, so I'm sure you've hidden them somewhere. At first, we thought that Garen wouldn't tell us. After all, the collapsed pieces were a valuable bargaining chip, enough to buy his life. However, he gives up the location so readily that it catches everyone off guard. Got that? Data log, Commander. I've recorded the coordinates too. It's inside Darksteel Farm, deep inside the ruins it seems. Sure, I lost. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't wrong though. I just wasn't strong enough. I admit that. Leo, I'll be watching you from the afterlife. He snorts derivatively. Well, leaving that aside, if you ask me, things won't end well for softies like you, Leo. Still, considering we used to be best buddies, I hope you make it to the next year. Thank you, Garen. As the inspector looks at his former friend, his face is a mask of pity and regret. Then he chambers around? Garen leans forward, resting his head against the muzzle of the inspector's gun. Commander, this is an internal matter for the farm. Would you mind? Oh, the dolls and I are just going to go scout the perimeter. Been a while since we went for a walk in the wasteland. I gather the dolls and lead them away with me. Dang. Behind us, the guards have Garen's men at gunpoint. By the time we get back to the jeep, the faint sound of cracks and pops can be heard in the distance. Man, it just sounds like fireworks in the green zone, doesn't it? Yeah, out with the old, in with the new. Leave all the bad stuff behind and welcome a brand new start. I hope they will see a new beginning. We're talking about the good guys, right? Because the bad guys, they can't see any more beginnings. I think they just went away. Despite Choha's attempts to cheer everyone up, everyone is still strangely gloomy. I pat them all on the shoulder. Just then, Perry sends us a transmission. Commander, I contacted Aminda as requested. We're together now. I think the sound of the gunfire has died down. Can we approach? Yes. Escort Aminda to the real meetup point. The forest inspector will be there after we arrive. Roger that. Perry ends the transmission. Several days ago, after Chohua and I asked Aminda for help, the real Aminda responded to us. I arranged for Perry to have her wait nearby, so she wouldn't get caught up in the fighting, while Kolfin and Vepley impersonated her. The inspector and Aminda quickly give the supplies a once-over, and on the way back, the inspector chose to ride with us. When we go back, I'll tell them that Garen and his expedition team were attacked by the Varjagers and died. I trust you all know what to do, and don't need me to elaborate, right? Understood. Don't worry. Our lips are sealed. Can I ask about something? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I saw some of the expedition team members were kind of confused about what to do, and that they didn't really seem too heavily involved in all this. Are they going to die gloriously too? There, there weren't a lot of weren't a lot of those outsiders, so the guards are going to have a good long chat with the survivors. They're probably going to be traumatized after watching their teammates die, so they'll need some follow-up therapy for a while. Then, once they fully recovered, they can go back to work. The inspector says all this with a straight face, as though expedition leader Garen had actually been killed in a warrior attack. Ah, Inspector, there's a little splash on your neck. Sabrina touches her neck to indicate the spot in question. The inspector reaches up to try and wipe the stain, but only spreads the reddish-brown color further, like a wound that will not heal. Let me do it. I squirt some water from my hydration pack, and finally, the wound is wiped away. I note the whistle-shaped transmitter hanging around his neck is now outside his shirt. Is that the whistle Garen gave you? The inspector looks down and reaches up to hold it. Yes. He doesn't elaborate, but he doesn't take it off either, only stuffs it back inside his shirt. I didn't fight for a long time before today, but now, I feel like I'm a bounty hunter again. The road is rough, and the engines roar. We shake and shudder inside the vehicle, not knowing what lies ahead of us. The leader of the bounty hunter crew ought to protect his people. The settlement's leader ought to protect his home. It's the same thing. You are more than qualified to be a leader. My words force a laugh from the inspector. Actually, I have a question I'd like to ask. Just an idle question, so don't take it seriously. What do you plan to do after this trade fair? The expedition team was your primary source of income, right? The inspector is silent for a while. There are too many things I have to do. I don't know where to begin. The expedition team has lost its leader. We'll need to appoint a new one and recruit new members. Garen's concerns were valid. The farm needs to improve its productivity and find new resources. The path to survival will be difficult, but I believe that once one door closes, another opens. His tone grows more and more grim as he contemplates these matters. Now that I think about it, I should have seen this coming. The expedition team has been unhappy about how resources were allocated for a long time now. I told him that our current reward scheme favors the expedition team's contributions over all others. Plus, even if he had won, it wouldn't change the fact that he needed support staff. Everyone in the settlement has their own tasks to complete. The inspector pauses, then looks at Chohua before continuing. Apart from the scavengers. Huh? What did you suddenly... Yura told me that the scavengers could effectively develop the ruins, and they knew various agricultural techniques which could provide us with limitless source of food, but he was wrong. The residents don't see any value in keeping them. That was also one of the factors that drove Garen to his rebellion, although I didn't expect him to actually do it. It isn't just the expedition team that's unhappy with them. If we don't solve the problem of the scavengers, the other residents won't be able to tolerate them either. Do you regret taking them in? The inspector thinks, then he shakes his head. Darksteel Farm is their home, and the people in the Yellow Zone have had times where they were adrift and lost, myself included. Nobody wants to lose their home a second time. I'll do my best to buy them some time, but I also need to take the well-being of all the residents into consideration too, so, in the end, they'll have to rely on themselves. I do like the inspector man, like Leo here. Like, yeah, he's just trying his best to, like, make everyone happy. But at the same time, that's going to be, like, such a tall task, and we kind of saw what happened to, like, the expedition team here too. Like, I'm sure he would want them to be good. I mean, he even said that he might, look away as if nothing has happened if, like, if Garen would, like, stand down and stuff. But yeah, he's just trying to make the most out of the situation. Even if, like, maybe he can't, do it, or, yeah, just do his best. After the inspector says this, we all fall silent for a while. Well, if it's just about the food, I might have a solution there, or rather, I'm pretty sure I have a solution. Alright, aren't you a chef? We all look at Chohua. I wanted to mention this earlier, but we all had this stuff going on, so I never had a chance to tell Yura. Anyway, I saw Sola's hazelnuts while we were exploring the ruins. What's that? It's that poisonous plant Yura was talking about. Actually, it grows fruit. You need to crack them open and process them, but in short, they're edible. I spent a long time in the Yellow Zone running around and studying what new life forms in the Yellow Zone can and can't be eaten. so I think you can trust me on this. Ah, I can vouch for that. Showa is a proper Yellow Zone Master Chef now. The fact that they're everywhere in the ruins means that raising them is pretty simple. Even if you need some time to grow them, just harvesting what's in the ruins should be able to tide over for a year and a half or so. Also, they're really filling too. In short, I think the scavengers will be able to feed themselves. It would be great if they could cultivate them. Relax, Inspector. I'm sure the scavengers can do it. The truth is, I disagree with what Leader Garen had said before. Johua hesitates, but she ultimately decides to continue with the topic. Even if things are tough now, based on what I've seen of the people in Yellow Zone these few years, I believe humans will continue to survive and the world will continue to get better. Someday, everyone will be able to eat their fill and wear a full set of comfortable clothes that fit well and do the work they like. Of course, the requirement is for people that is that the people don't give up. No matter what choices they make, whether they accept or reject something, they have to keep on going. As for me, I'll keep doing what I can do, which is to make sure everyone gets something to eat. Mr. Inspector, you aren't a weak man. You'll live a good long time. And maybe when your hair turns gray and white, you'll see a kinder, gentler world like we've never seen before. For once, Johua is absolutely serious and solemn. Everyone is briefly stunned into silence until Sabrina giggles. Bravissimo! That's exactly the kind of thing you say, Johua. What do you mean by that? Of course I would say that. That's what I would say. The dolls begin squabbling as the jeep continues forward, and from the corner of my eye, I can see the inspector smiling too. Wow. That was a nice ending to that. It is kind of sad that Garen had to go. Oh, wait, was that the last one? Because we got that special icon there. Was that really the last one? I guess we'll find out. I felt like it's gone by so fast. Oh wow, that was really the last one. Okay. Yeah, just in time for the 50 minutes that I like to do. So yeah, there you have it, guys. That was it for the Life Rekindled story. I gotta say, they didn't really do this artwork. I thought at the end they would like maybe show this off, like a scene that is like this. But there was nothing like that here. But yeah, we didn't get to experience the fair, right? Oh, that's the supply mode. Yeah, I don't think there's even more story, right? That's pretty much it. Oh wait, no, there's one more. There is one more. Here we go. I think this is it. My bad. I was a bit too hasty. We find the collapsed pieces at the location Garen gives us, and the festival takes place as planned. Unlike the previous years, this year's ceremony includes a memorial service for the fallen members of the expedition team. After the solemn event, the distribution of annual supplies takes place, and the settlement erupts into wild revelry. Chief Yura, your boxes look really heavy. Need help carrying them? It's alright. We scavengers didn't have that many contribution points, so we only managed to collect a few boxes. I can handle 3 more loads like this by myself. It's not like you had to push yourself so hard. Commander, can you understand the joy I'm feeling right now? I'm carrying our supplies, and the more I have, the heavier they are, so the extra weight is actually a sense of security, or the tiredness that comes from happiness. At Yura's insistence, all we can do is watch him return with his hands full, without lifting a finger to help. By the time we return to the scavenger's camp, Johua has just finished her tutorial on how to cook and prepare the soulless hazelnuts, and we can hear her bright, cheery voice through the flaps of the tent. Once again, I emphasize, you absolutely have to make sure you cook it thoroughly. If it's not properly cooked, you mustn't eat it. Rosa has taken Sabrina to go shopping, which leaves me with nothing to do but watch the scavengers as they begin cultivating their test plot. Shortly afterwards, I hear footsteps from behind as Chohua walks up to me. Done with the lesson? Yep, my students are doing self-study now. I hope we don't get any food poisoning cases tonight. Chohua moves to my side. These scavengers are laboring on their various tasks, and for the moment, so nobody notices us. In the past, I left that Green Zone farm because I saw a lot of cases where people and places fall apart. When I delivered fancy and expensive ingredients to the Green Zone restaurants, I watched people throw away leftovers without a second thought. But when I did deliveries in the Yellow Zone, every moment and every place I visited had people plagued by hunger, pain, and fear. Dude, that's so sad to think about, man. Because yeah, that is kind of true. You just see like leftovers being thrown away, like in a privileged place like the green zones. But then the yellow zones, they're like, they need that food. I couldn't change the restaurants in a green zone, but there's a lot I can do in the yellow zones. Chohua's voice is quieter and gentler than usual. Truth is, I wasn't always good at cooking, but I spent the past few years focusing on food, looking for hidden gems among ingredients, and figuring out how to prepare them. Slowly, my cooking skills improved. Food. It seems to have a magical power that can ease pain. People would sigh in relief after eating the stuff I made. Perhaps feeling hungry is something like the hope to survive, don't you think? You've grown a lot in your search for a cooking skill. You've done well during this incident. Really? Johua looks at me, her eyes shining like stars. I'm glad you approve, Commander. I haven't thanked you for helping me with this whole thing, Commander. You don't need to. This was an interesting experience for me. What do you mean by that? Of course I have to thank you. Well, this started out as just fulfilling a request from my old boss. Halfway through it turned into carrying out the mission that I assigned myself. Whether it's the scavengers here or the residents in the settlement, I want to spare them from all the pain and hunger and give them the courage they need to live on. Do you think I managed it to do that, Commander? Well, the look on your face tells me you're pretty proud of what you've done. Still, since you want me to praise you, I'll praise you again. Thanks, Commander. Satisfied, Chohua decides to change the topic. Ah, yeah. Now that you mention it, our reunion turned out completely different from what I originally planned. I was going to sneak aboard the Elmo with a whole bunch of awesome ingredients and brand new skills, then announce myself with a full-on banquet. How did I end up making such a sloppy entrance anyway? Can we do it again, Commander? Pretend you never saw me, give me a chance to sneak aboard the Elmo. This reunion is good enough, don't worry about it. Choo-choo, sure it was sloppy, but that was just because of these circumstances. Our reunion was everything I wanted. I'm glad to be back by your side again. And laugh and pat Chohua on the back. A scavenger's voice comes from the tents, calling for Chohua. Miss Chohua, where are you, miss? Could you show us a few more dishes, please? I'm coming. Chohua bids me farewell before rushing toward the tents. Wait, Chohua, I just remembered that Mei-Ling, she's our machinist aboard the Elmo, sent a recipe for, jiaozi, filling while back. Seems she wants some. Can you do anything with it? No problem. Jiaozi are part of my specialty. Just leave it to me. I send Chohua Mei-Ling's recipe. At the foot of the highlands, another person approaches me. It's the inspector. This is the first time I've seen the scavenger camp so lively. We meet again, Commander. The inspector looks around and greets me breezily. Chief Yura's by the tents. No, I'm here for you. The inspector takes an envelope from his pocket. This special entry permit is for you, an additional gift, above and beyond what was promised in the contract, for the sake of our continued friendship. I look at the permit, which bears the inspector's personal signature. I suddenly recall all the crap that we went through, and being chased by the checkpoint guards because of this, giving me an urge to chuckle. Yeah, that was crazy at the beginning. On behalf of the farm's residents, and myself of course, I would like to thank you for your help you gave to Darksteel Farm. Even if I can't publicly declare it, this permit will serve as a symbol that the Elmo will always be a friend of the farm. You're welcome. Now that I've delivered my gift, I'll be heading back. Why not stay for dinner? Chohua's cooking up a storm. I have to take care of things at the admin center. We'll share a drink next time. The inspector waves to us and goes back to the way he came. Commander, we're back. Rosa brought tons of cute little trinkets, and me too. I stocked it up on cheese. Sabrina, don't bring it up. Why hide it? Today is a day of celebration. It's okay to go over budget if it's once in a while. So, why do you have so much food? Miss Delia forced us to take it. She said it was all thanks for saving her life. She spent a lot of contribution points on them, but apparently the inspector transferred her some of his own personal, some from his personal accounts. Ah, so it's a gift. That's good to hear. Send it all to Chohua. We'll have extra dishes tonight. Evening comes as the smoke from the cook fires curls into the sky. In the distance, the trade fair and the settlement glow brightly in the twilight. Around us, the tents are suffused by a warm radiance. I call Mailing and all the dolls who weren't occupied at the moment to the campsite so they can enjoy an evening with us. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is it? Yeah, here it is. Except, we're not like, I think in the art, they were in like a city, right? But now we're at the camp. Hot, hot, hot. Coming through. Make way, make way. Yeah. Where did all the Jiao Zi go? See me some. Come on. Chouhua's voice fills the air as she strides out with a big plate of food in hand. Around her, the scavengers exchange seasonal greetings as they celebrate surviving another year. Commander, sometimes I feel like the fire in the stove is like a little ember of hope, because whenever there's smoke from a cooking fire, there's hope in the future. After thinking for a bit, I nodded in agreement. No matter how hard the previous year might have been, people's hearts are still filled with joy in the moments when a plate of piping hot food is laid on the table, and their shared enjoyment of the dishes brings them closer together. Commander, have a good time. The coming year's going to be a good one, right? I'm sure it will. Alright, there you go, man. Alright. Well, yeah, we finally, I guess, got this, except, I don't think these are tents. Yeah, those would be more in, like, in the city area. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I think at first, it was still interesting, but it did feel like around the Zhao Hui type level of story, which is my least favorite. But that was still good though. But like, I think later on it really picked up. I really did like the other characters more than like the dolls. Like with Leo and Garen and Delia, like, the mystery behind them. And then what happens at the end. And yeah, even though like you can maybe see some of it coming from a mile away, especially with Garen, Garen's gonna be evil and stuff. Even though he was kind of like friendly in some ways, at least to Leo. I thought maybe there might be a chance for him to like, be on the good side, but yeah, he's the bad guy here. And yeah, no like unique boss too. Yeah, there's no unique boss. That's a bit disappointing. Kinda wish maybe we would fight like Garen at the end. But nah, we didn't get that. Anyway guys, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I can to like make the most out of the I guess the rewards over here. I'm sure I don't even have this. I don't even know what this is. Oh wow. Well, there you go. I'm guessing it's from one of these. Not sure if I'm like too late. Yeah, we'll see. I got like 9 days. Well, I guess 2 days because this thing will be up for like a week to claim any rewards. But yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and just end it here. Next time, we'll be doing the Nikita update, which is very exciting, and is when I will be doing more pulls, because I do feel like I should have like enough. Like, what is... Yeah, 20,000. How did I get back here? I forgot how much I spent. Dang. And what is my tickets? Like the permissions? Geez, 44. Yeah, dude, I'm really impressed with this game, man. They do a good job of like giving you a lot of freebies with the pulls. But yeah, I'm very impressed by it. Like, really, really impressed by it. Because like, man, I feel like I'm always ready to do another pull sometimes. But yeah, next time we'll be pulling for Nikita, because I just want that robot dog. I think it's really cool and stuff. And yeah, I think that'll be pretty much it for this video here, man. Yeah, we'll see about that. And I think after that it's like Zhangyu, right? So we'll be going back to the Monsoon Squad, I'm guessing, for the story. But yeah, whenever Andrus and Belka come, and also maybe a rerun of Centauressi, I'll try to get them. But more on the first two that I mentioned. But yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and end it here. That'll be for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good